Right, thank you very much. So I'll briefly give you an introduction to how end use of some of the critical materials are fundamentally going to transform the electricity industry. In short, we finally, through battery energy storage, have found a dance partner for renewables. So the intermittency of renewable energy has had significant impacts on networks, and our battery energy storage provides an opportunity for us to balance that and to absorb more renewables into electricity grids. To start off with, a little bit about Horizon Power. We serve regional Western Australia very proudly. We operate about 38 systems and microgrids, and we've got one customer per 58 square kilometres. Can you imagine the meter reader going door to door? 58 square kilometres with one customer in each of those areas. We are Australia's only vertically integrated utility, and in an environment or an industry of disaggregation and disruption, the vertical integration of us as a utility is actually starting to see some unintended benefits, and we're starting to see the whole value chain and the decisions we make with new technology. We think about fuel, we think about transmission, we think about distribution, we think about retail in a single value proposition, and some of those new technologies rely on that whole of value proposition to be considered. We do provide customers with advanced metering. Data is driving a lot of the insights, and all of that data is being actioned into some of the technological advances that I'll talk to you very briefly about. We've heard a lot about disruption of a number of industries, both here in Australia and internationally. Uber is an example, the internet for the postal service. For us, disruption is really coming to our business model now, and it's in the form of what's called distributed energy resources. It was only 10 years ago that we realized that Thomas Edison, probably had he submitted his CV, would have got a job in our utility industry today. He would have recognized the building blocks of electricity, and yet in the last 10 years, and certainly in the next 10 years, we will see a fundamental transformation, where once from distant centralized locations, we transferred or transported electricity in one direction over long poles and wires to our customers via transformers. We now have customers making homemade electricity. We also have battery technology and renewable energy actually potentially going to lead to grid defection. We see standalone power systems starting to come online. I just came back from Esperance, where we've actually decommissioned 54 kilometres of poles and wires and replaced it with standalone battery, renewable energy, and a small amount of backup diesel. So our business model has fundamentally been cracked by renewable energy, battery storage, and we've got a new problem, or a new challenge, certainly an opportunity, is how do we harness renewable energy and get the greater penetrations where it makes economic sense. Batteries provide a significant opportunity for this. We have utility battery energy storage, where we've got large amounts of renewable energy. We can soak up the intermittency and provide some stability with large centralized batteries. Early adopters are now taking up battery energy storage in their homes. As I mentioned, standalone power systems are starting to come to the fore, and with regulation change, we will see standalone power systems and microgrids take the place of large interconnected networks. All of this with the uptake of electric vehicles to come, and this is going to be a significant impact on our network if we do not prepare the way for electric vehicles. If we do not plan accordingly the tariffs and the products to absorb electric vehicles into our networks, if everyone comes home at peak time, switches on the recharging, we're going to have a different and new challenge for our networks. It's commonly known as DER on wheels, but we really are working as an industry and with the East Coast utilities as well to prepare for and pave the way for the uptake of electric vehicles. Four years ago, or 3 and a bit years ago, we didn't have a single kilowatt hour of battery installed on our network. We've just about hit 4 megawatts, and that will double in the next few years as well. That'll be a combination of network connected and residential behind the meter. We are a very small utility by anybody's standards. We have 48,000 customers, but we are seeing the uptake of battery energy storage fundamentally as the dance partner for intermittent renewables to balance that for our networks. The chemistry of grid transformation is pretty straightforward. We have lithium, manganese, nickel, cobalt. These are some of the elements that we see and fundamentally will continue to obviously be extracted, exported, but we would really like to see that supply chain turn into manufacturing and the smarts. Lithium batteries sit in containers at sites, but the control interfaces and the smarts that go with battery coordination and battery control is where the real next opportunity also exists in this new industry. I wanted to bring this all to bear in a single case study. Onslow, a very small mining town, a long, long way from here, and it sits on the coast. It has about 800 people in the community, and we're looking at bringing a future forward where we believe most customers will have solar on the rooftops, a lot of those customers will have battery energy storage, and all of those customers will have air conditioning. Some customers have between 6 and 9 air conditioners in each of their homes. We're doing a project in Broome where the average was 9 air conditioners per house. 40 degrees, high humidity, air conditioners run 24 hours in the wet season because of mold. This is the real electricity consumption that we see and are supplying today. But Onslow, we will bring a future forward. And the key to Onslow is to subsidize the batteries and the solar energy for customers for one simple and very transformative change. If we are to get high levels of renewable energy into our networks to displace diesel as the primary source of generation, we have to be able to communicate and actually coordinate, or the bad C word, control some of the behind-the-meter customer assets. So we have in Onslow an opportunity to overlay the smarts with the software and the algorithms for just a few times a year, coordinate customer solar, customer battery, and customer major appliances as a single system to the benefit of customers and the benefits of our network. If we go back to the vertical integration that we have and we look at the value of that on fuel, on transmission, on distribution and retail, we have a real opportunity here to share the costs of infrastructure build with customers, so we're not building for peak at the expense of customers who, with these appliances, if from time to time we can coordinate the response of the solar and the major appliances, we can coordinate to the point that we do not need to invest as much as we have traditionally in peak and in peaking plant. So that really is just a sense of where the critical materials and ultimately the end use in battery energy storage in a small electricity network that resides here in Western Australia. Thank you very much.